Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video day, and today it has been announced that Cam Thomas is likely to be out for the season. He's dealt with a bunch of hamstring injuries this season that have just continued to bother him, and he's only played 25 games this season. Even though he's only played 25 games this season, he has been amazing when he has played. He's easily had his best season. Obviously, a couple years ago, in the 2022-23 season, even though it was a season where he only averaged 11 points per game, he took the Brooklyn Nets. It just shocked a lot of people when he had these amazing 40-point performances killing. And this was right when, you were about to see, this was right when Kyrie Irving exited Brooklyn. You were about to see Kevin Durant leave, and Cam Thomas really started to emerge. And then last season, 23-24 season, with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving fully gone for a full season, Cam Thomas took on a bigger role, wasn't always started only 51 of his 66 games, but still managed to average 22 points per game. Now this season, with Mikal Bridges gone now, so you had not only no Durant and no Kevin Durant and no Kyrie Irving, but then you also didn't have Mikal Bridges anymore. Cam Thomas has taken on a bigger starting role. Even though it's only been 25 games, he has started in 23 of those 25 games. He's averaged 24 points per game, 4 assists per game this season, 3 rebounds per game, 1 assist per game, and has shot 44% from the floor and 35% from three. He's a guy you don't want to, get hot. I mean, when he is on fire, it's something you don't want to see. For instance, last couple games he's played on the 13th, his last game of the season he'll ever play this season, had a great game against the Bulls, had 24 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. So if he's in the zone, he's playing some great basketball. The game before that against Cleveland, in 32 minutes, had 27 points. He had a really good night against the Warriors the other night. On the 6th, he had 23 points, 7 assists. So he's played some really good basketball this season, but the only problem that has been for Cam Thomas this season has been staying healthy, and that really hasn't been a problem in the past for him. I mean, last season, he only missed 16 games. His second season, wasn't as healthy as his first or third season, playing 57 games, but it's nowhere near as bad as he's been this year with injuries. And then his rookie season, played 67 games, only missing 15. So this season, since he's going to finish playing 25 games, 82 games in a season, he's going to miss 57 games this year. He's, before this season, he didn't have a season where he didn't go under 57 games in a season. 57 games, 57 games in a season was the least he'd played in a season before this year. So, sure, there have been some small injuries here and there for Cam Thomas the last three seasons, in his first 3 seasons, but injuries this year have become a big problem, and it's something you don't want to see with a guy that has promise, like a young player like Cam Thomas does, who's still so young at 23 years old. I mean, this kid was 22 going into the season. I mean, starting training camp, even though he's going in his fourth season and he's starting to become the star player of the team, he's only 22 years old. Obviously, he turned 23 in the middle of October, right before the season started, but he's going to be 24 years old still going into his 5th season. I think it's going to be interesting to see the future of Cam Thomas with this Brooklyn Nets team. I think they're going to get trade calls, for him this offseason. I really do. And at the trade deadline, it was said, and I know Brooklyn weren't big sellers this deadline. Sure, they bought out Ben Simmons. They traded Dorian Finney-Smith. They weren't big, sellers at the deadline. They didn't really jump to make moves like some other bad teams did. But I think this offseason, I think it's going to be the same mentality for this Brooklyn Nets team potentially as it was at the deadline. Everybody's available. And that comes for the same, I think it's going to be the same thing with the two Cams, Cam Johnson and Cam Thomas. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see whether Cam Thomas is in Brooklyn for a 5th season next year, or he potentially gets traded. I think Brooklyn's not going to be scared to make trades this offseason. I really don't. Let me know your thoughts on the devastating news of Cam Thomas missing the rest of the season in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on that, and peace out.